Can I ask? Can we cut for a second? I'm gonna start over. Can we just take a breath together?
Yeah, of course. You can keep all this on the.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, keep it.
Awesome. Great. Let's do it.
What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of The Breakthrough, and today we are very grateful to be joined with Adam Roa, who is a transformational artist, and we're going to be picking his brain about conscious uncoupling and the art of choosing love. Yeah!
Let's do it.
Okay, so actually, first off, I know there's so many things that you do. Will you just dive into your conscious uncoupling?
I was in a 9.5-year relationship with the woman of my dreams. We met in an acting class, and kind of immediately it was love at first sight. We were a pair, and at the beginning of last year we were talking about having a baby, and we figured we would be, what is it now? It's February, so we would be having that baby in like March or April. That was kind of the window we wanted. So then there was some sort of little uncomfortableness in the relationship. It was like, what's going on here? We didn't know what was happening, so we went into ceremony. That's what we do when we don't know what else to do. And
ceremony being
plant medicine ceremony, ayahuasca, psilocybin, iboga. I have a wide experience of different plant medicines, and we went into it together, and we both separately received the message that it was time to leave the relationship.
How did that come? Both did?
Yeah, separately.
Wow.
Yeah, when we go into those, they're all different, all the different ceremonies. This one was, trying to identify what it was. And so we spent some time and just finding our flow together. And then we, went into our meditations separately, just sitting across from each other. And we both kind of opened our eyes and looked at each other and had received the message, like, time to leave. This is over.
Did you know that when you both opened your eyes, it was like a knowing, like, I got it too?
Yeah, and so I began to, honestly, it looked like me beginning to cry and like look up. Imagine me on my knees like, Stella, but like looking up and just being like, what are you talking about? Like, you cannot be asking this of me.
Downloading this message, right? How did you trust that that was what you were truly receiving, rather than just maybe a thought? What did it look like? Yeah, what did it look like? Yeah.
It's like a voice in my head. In some instances, so intuition is something that we all have, but I see it as a skill, I see it as a tool, and we can get better at it. Like that guitar over there, there are people who play it far better than I do, and if I want to get better at it, I practice. Similarly with intuition, very few people actually spend time honing their intuition, and so it's just been so many years of honing it that like I feel it, I know it. Sometimes it's a subtle feeling in the body, like that gut instinct. Sometimes it's like a voice screaming in my head. It depends. And this was just very, very clear. And the thing about that is I'm surrendered to that. I'm here for that. Whatever that is, we can call it God or source or the divine or the universe or higher self, whatever. I am fully at service of that. And so, so is Azria, my previous partner. And so when we both received that, we both knew. And it was something that I've spoken to in before, which is and we've been together 6 years when I started saying this, which was if I received the very clear message and knowing that I was supposed to break up with her and go live in a mountain somewhere and pursue monkhood, I would. And it's a scary feeling because in some ways it's like,
it's kind of
anything could happen, right?
At any point, anything can change. There's no security. You just go with it.
But the reward on that is that the divine, God, source, whatever you want to call it, rewards that level of surrender. My life in every way has dramatically improved, and everything that I've desired is coming to me in ways beyond what I could have imagined as a result of those surrenders
and trust.
And so even the breakup, because now we're about 6.5, 7 months removed, I can look back at it. I was at her birthday last night. We're a stand for how much you can love someone and not need to have them.
That's the hardest thing. Own them and possess them, just total freedom. And when I was watching that episode of yours, and I'm like in my bed last night crying, I'm like, how? Like, because you have to love somebody so much in order to be like, we're in love. There's nothing wrong, but I know this is what you need to do. You know this is what I need to do. And then when the way you guys communicate, you're clearly on the same page.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be,
you know, you guys still get it.
there doesn't have to be something wrong for it to not be right.
Right.
And it just wasn't right any longer. We had outgrown the container. We were like horses in a stable that was just too small. We'd outgrown it, and we couldn't see it.
Yeah.
We couldn't see it, and I've been able to see it in hindsight. And the journey of what love can look like continues to evolve. And the thing is that no matter how much you love someone else, because I mean, I would take a bullet for that woman. Like no matter how much I love her, it is no, it always, and there's no shoulds, but in my opinion, it will always be a backseat to how much I love myself. And I want that to be the same for everyone. It's put your oxygen mask on first. Everything comes from that overflow space, because the moment that I love you more than myself, there is the opportunity for me to act out of integrity. There's the opportunity for me to act out of fear, all of those things because of that gap.
And lose yourself. You're not nourishing yourself, so then eventually you're actually also going to lose them.
So if you love
your mission
yourself,
was so important because that was yours.
Yeah, because I'm now living my purpose more than I even like I was then. That was my purpose, and that was what I was here to do. And then that evolved and that shifted because we had both done so much that our visions for our lives was no longer exactly aligned. And we could have forced it, but we both would have been making sacrifices to do that. And to make the greatest amount of impact on this planet and to feel fully fulfilled. I'm honoring my truth above all else, and then whether that aligns with someone else or not is out of my control.
Totally. So what would you say, I'm curious how you would define a relationship then?
About romantic, because I believe we're in relationship right now, right? So
romantic relationship, what does that look like to you? What does that mean to you?
It's a really good question. I'm learning. I'm learning right now what relationship means. Like right now, I'm in a relationship with a woman where it is romantic and it is not monogamous. It is, wow, I'm in LA right now. You live in LA. This is amazing, and we're very we would look like boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when I'm on the road, or she's on the road, or whatever, the container is completely different. The relationship looks very different. Yeah, with Ruby. Where if I have a connection with someone else while I'm out on the road, that is okay. And our agreements, like the boundaries, because a monogamous relationship is simply saying, okay, so we're romantic, and the boundaries of our container mean you cannot sleep with anyone else, you cannot kiss anyone else, you cannot flirt with, like, whatever it is. And then it gets looser and looser, and it's like, oh, maybe you can flirt with someone, maybe you can do this, but like there's this monogamish kind of thing that happens. And then you have polyamory, and you have all these other things. And for me right now, I'm in the exploration of how much of what I believe a romantic relationship looks like is based on conditioning that I took on without choosing it.
Can you say that one? That was really powerful.
I am currently in the conversation for myself around how much of my perception of romantic relationships has been based off of conditioning that I've taken on without choosing it consciously.
Yes, society, movies, parents, like everything. It's telling you monogamy, that's it.
Totally.
And the way it looks, so you're completely creating your own, distinguishing what's come from that and what's come from yourself.
Yes, 100%. Because to me, I had an idea, for example, that because I'd been cheated on in the past, I had this idea that if I'm in a relationship with someone and they sleep with someone else, I'm going to be destroyed or distraught, right? And then, like, as shown on The Art of Choosing Love in one of the episodes, I got a phone call from Azria when she slept with someone else. I got a phone call from her like weeks earlier when she said there was some potential, like, and then I put those into the show basically. And that for me was surprising, because when she told me she had slept with someone else, my first thing was, I hope that is beautiful. Like I hope, what do I actually hope? In the back of my mind, am I hoping that she had a terrible night? Like it was awful?
Yeah.
Like why? I hope that she had a really I hope she felt worshipped. I hope she had the most amazing orgasms of her life. Like I hope that it was incredible.
Is this why you were still with her?
No,
this is when you were...
We were broken up. But that was an experience of going, whoa, there's a part of my brain that thinks I should be upset.
Right, after 9.5 years,
I should be upset about this. I should feel less, I could feel myself searching for where I could be.
That's where I would be.
Yeah, but the initial reaction was, I hope that it was a beautiful experience. And that was a redefining. And then I got into experience and I connected with a woman in this dynamic with Ruby. I connected while I was on the road, we were traveling, and called her and said, hey, so we've been talking about this conceptually, but this is the opportunity where it actually happened. Let's have a conversation about this.
Right.
Because it's the first time that this has happened. And to have that conversation and be like, wow, she's going to take this like I cheated on her or whatever, and instead have it be really beautiful, and more importantly for me to be able to see the ways in which I grew as a human being.
No kidding. Because you can be sure in yourself.
Totally. Absolutely. And like stand behind it. And the filter system of checking in, like when there was an initial connection, being like, okay, I know if this goes anywhere, I will have a phone call with Ruby back home and tell her about this. Is that worth this?
Yes.
And it was just an additional filter of saying yes and like honoring my truth around that. And the whole thing was so beautiful that
so inspiring.
It's reprogramming.
Yeah. How do you get back in touch with your love and choosing love? Because I know that your message is all about the art of choosing love. Yep. And Jess and I often talk about this. You know, most commonly the thing that gets in the way of the love is the fear. And we all have so much fear in our lives. So for anyone struggling as well with fear taking over their ability to love, what would you say your process is to help you get back to that space? Yeah,
my process starts with recognizing that fear isn't real. Fear is not a real thing.
Hell no.
Fear
it feels so real.
Yeah, I use this. I have a spoken word poetry show called Permission to Think Freely that I've toured around the world, and in it I talk about this concept, which is like there's no such thing as cold. Cold is actually a word that we use to describe our experience of a lack of thermal heat. All there is a range of thermal heat. And at a certain point, you can say, this is cold, and you can say, no, it's not, because there's no empirical, here's cold.
Right. It's
That's
just
my
the
experience.
Contrast. There's no real...
It's my experience of saying there's a lack of thermal heat. And for that reason, you can't to warm a room, you cannot remove the cold. You have to add thermal heat to it. And so when you recognize that fear is simply a spectrum of love, and at a certain point we say, wow, at this point there's enough love absent that I'm going to describe this experience as fear. You have biological safety fear, which don't jump off the building.
Right. For people that aren't very connected to their intuition, and it's it might be the brand new start of a journey for them to start getting connected to their body, what is a good practice or place to start for those that are very in their heads, very living unconsciously, to start living consciously and want to start doing the work and getting more connected to their intuition?
Two things that regularly appear to me. One is meditation. Meditation is a non-negotiable in my life. Every client that I've ever worked with, it's a non-negotiable. If you're not willing to meditate, I just won't work with you. It's just and meditation is not this, it's not about some goal or anything. It's just even on a simple level, it is if you went to the gym and you're the guys who are and the women who are in the best aesthetic shape that you can think of, they go to the gym for a couple of hours and then they rest. And our minds, being a muscle, it's like we're in the gym nonstop. It's like actually the growth happens in the resting. And so the meditation, even just looking at it as being like, I'm just going to take 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes a couple times a day to just let my brain rest so that it can build and grow and recover and all
absorb those things. And process.
And getting rid of, I can go down you can go down the hippie like reasons and the spirituality I'm wearing I normally wear crystal around my neck. Yeah, exactly. So like I can go down the uses of meditation for astral projection and all those sorts of things. And on the simplest physical level, it is a necessity to allow yourself to start to be with yourself. Because that's the intuition. You can't hear the intuition if your brain's got all the noise.
Yeah.
And so that's one. And then the other part that's been really big for me is starting to speak openly about nutrition. So many people can't hear the through the noise because they've numbed their senses with sugar, refined sugars, processed foods, like just really energetically dense foods that are creating like a fog, a haze. And the thing is, I
low vibration foods.
Yeah, and I'm not even a vegan. I eat very little meat, but I went to Arizona where I grew up, and I was talking to a friend one time, and we went somewhere, and I said, yeah, I'm not eating meat right now. And he said, why aren't you eating meat? And I said, well, I just testing to see, wanting to optimize and feel as good as I can. And he said, I feel great, and I eat meat all the time. I said, yeah, but you don't have a reference.
You don't know the difference.
You've been eating meat your whole life. Like, you don't actually know. I've recognized that I talk a lot about intuition, and I'm starting to listen to your intuition, and it's a disservice for me to continue to just expect people to be able to tap into it if I don't address like the nutrition aspect.
Right.
It is a huge part of it.
Well, you are what you eat, as they always say. To a
makes
degree,
sense.
whatever you put in your body is part of you. So
yeah, I always feel closer to my intuition. Actually, I say it all the time. I feel closer to God when I'm taking care of myself. When I eat really good, when I'm drinking water, when I'm sleeping, when I'm taking care of myself, that's when I feel like my intuition's on point. I can tell anything like that. Did you ever fear boundaries and being judged? Like, was that ever a thing with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. My most important thing in life was being liked for a very long time.
I
can resonate
in
with
that space.
Yeah.
We both are, but we're moving out of it. But yeah, very much.
But the need to people please is really a direct reflection on not being self-assured in my own worth.
Totally.
And so the more that I feel that I am in integrity, in each and every moment I'm doing the best I can, I'm choosing love, and I'm proud of who I am, the less I need to people please.
Right, because
it's your best.
What can you do?
It's your best. Yeah.
Before we wrap, I just have to address the top 33 on the please just tell everyone how that made you feel and what exactly you have just been
congratulations
ranked
on that
at number
too.
4.
Thank you.
That's
yeah.
huge.
Well, they say no particular order. I love that it's number 4.
Oh, it's number 4. It was my lucky
they
number.
They say no particular order. I was listed by Goalcast as one of the top 33 game changers and innovators to look out for in 2019, along with LeBron James and Elon Musk and Will Smith, Michelle Obama.
To name a
seriously,
few.
No, seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
Really, really amazing. I'm excited for this year for you.
Yeah, it was wild. I make sense in like Goalcast, the poem that went viral, is the best performing video they've ever had in their entire time of doing it. They wrote me to let me know, not by number, not by quantity of views or anything, but just in the time window, what it's done. They've never had anything received in that way. And so that's been amazing, and it was such an honor. And the funny thing is, the first thing that happened was my imposter syndrome kicked in. The fraud police, right? Just being like, you do not belong on that list.
But
You do not belong on that list. This is some sort of mistake or some sort of whatever. And that was actually the first thing that kicked in. Really? And then I got to sit in that. And how I did that was on my Instagram. I put an Insta story and I said,
you were honest about it.
Check it out. This just happened. This is amazing. And what I'm actually feeling is that I don't belong on this list. That's the truth of what I'm feeling right now. And that's the difference between a lot of thought leaders and influencers would post and be like, this is so amazing, look and check it out. And not acknowledge that there's this very real part of me that was saying, what have you done? And so I've had enough of these over the last several months to go, even with the poem even going viral. Just like there's enough of these things where at a certain point, and it was Azria, when I was speaking to her on the phone, she said, when are you going to allow yourself to own your awesome? Like, when are you going to allow yourself to say,
awesome.
She's so awesome.
She loves you.
And just saying like, you've done so much and now it's coming back. You're being recognized for what you're doing and you've been doing for years. And at a certain point, you get to own that and be grateful for that and okay with that, as opposed to thinking that you still need to do more because you're always that's a trap. And so, I'm in the process of learning how to, like, the new normal be,
accept that.
This is my peer group. This is the level of impact and influence that I get to have, because I believe I'm sharing love, and I believe that the message of love is so important that it's not a message of Adam Roa. This is how I choose to deliver it, whether it be poetry or my YouTube show.
Through
this is
vessel.
my medium, but it's not my message. It is a message that is bigger than me, that so many other people on this planet are also sharing. And so I don't need the people who are watching this to become like big followers of my message, but I do want them to become followers of love's message somewhere.
So have you accepted you're awesome, or that's the process?
Yes, I have.
You're freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. Right now.
Freaking awesome.
Done.
So just quickly, where can everyone find you? Website, Instagram, the whole shebang.
All of it. AdamRoa.com, ADAMROA.com, theartofchoosinglove.com. Those are the two websites. And then I'm all over social media. So Facebook, Adam Roa, Instagram, Adam.Roa. YouTube, you can search Adam Roa or The Art of Choosing Love, and you'll find a bunch of it. You are who you've been looking for. And then if you're interested in diving deeper with me, then the podcast is one of the biggest places. I have a podcast called The Deep Dive with Adam Roa that is on iTunes and SoundCloud and all the things. And then lastly, just launched the video course.
Damn, you're
so
busy,
brand new.
Man.
If you are interested in learning my creative process in 4 steps, I invite you to check it out. Go to unlockyourinnerartist.com.
Oh, that was so cool. Thank you so much, guys, for watching another episode of The Breakthrough. And we'll see you next week. This was Adam Roa, all about love.